Hey everyone, it's James Theocarus from Melody and Music Introducers, and this episode we are with Dublin Rose.
Hey there.
So Dublin, nice to have you on. We've had a little bit of a mishap where we've both had to cancel previous times, but we're finally here.
Finally.
Um, so I'm going to go through a few general questions, and then we can get a bit more into you as an artist and as a brand.
Sounds good.
Um, nice. So, what is or was or your favorite song that you've written so far?
Oh, actually, one of my favorite to perform and something that one of the songs I'm most proud of is this song called 10,000 Days. And it's probably like my most emotional song. It's actually not out yet, but I am recording it next week. So stay tuned for that one.
Okay.
Crazy.
So looking forward to that. So what is
10,000
your
Days is what
10,000
it's called.
days? And whenabouts is that going to be released?
Probably early next year,
Okay.
as well as another single coming out called They Say, which
Nice.
that's a wild, sassy song.
So we've got a lot of stuff to look out for.
Yeah.
What is your favorite song to perform?
Ah. Hmm. Well, that I kind of answered that question again, but it could be 10,000 Days. But if I had to pick another one, it would probably be this song called Grand Budapest. And it's super duper fast. And everyone like dances and moshes a little bit, which makes me really happy and excited. So that
Nice.
one.
Nice. So if anyone hasn't seen Dublin perform, I was very lucky that my cousin took me to one of your performances when I was over
Which
in
one?
Brisbane. Oh
Which one
God,
was that?
I don't even remember. But
How long
I
ago?
remember. Well, my cousin's name is Alana. So shout out to Alana.
Oh, Alana, as in my friend Alana.
Yeah, yeah.
No way, that was at Black Bear Lodge. That's
Must have been,
crazy.
yeah. But yeah, so I went to go see Dublin perform. It was such an amazing performance. Everyone was up and dancing and having a good time. So definitely
Oh,
go and try and go to one of Dublin's performances.
that would be awesome.
Um, yeah, I haven't got much more to say about your performances because it looked like a lot of fun. I'm glad I went.
I could say really quick, just plug this thing, but I'm playing at the Regatta Hotel this Saturday with a big lineup of musicians opening for Tia Costello. That's on Saturday the 14th at the Regatta. And then on October 5th, I'm headlining this show called West End Girls, and it's a little festival at Bearded Lady. And yeah, it's the spring edition. So October 5th, that'll be a good one.
Nice. So you've got back-to-back performances lined up.
Exactly. Always do.
That's so cool as a musician when you've got stuff just sort of booked in one after another. It's so good.
It is
Um,
cool.
so talking about a bit more about you as a musician when you first started and getting into it, who inspired you to make music? Was there like a pivotal person?
Well, I remember in primary school, I always liked music a bit, but I never thought about it as a real like thing to do.
Mm.
But my best friend and I, our music teacher, Mr. O'Keefe in primary school, said was looking for munchkins in The Wizard of Oz at Redcliffe Musical Theatre. And my best friend Alice and I were like, let's sign up, let's do it in grade four. And so we did, and we were munchkins. And I think I literally had one line like, oh, the witch is dead, or something like that. And all of a sudden, boom, I was obsessed with being on stage. And then since then, my best friend Alice and I did musical theatre all throughout primary school and start of high school, actually all of high school. And then I started busking at the Redcliffe markets since I was 12, singing to a backing track like some really random songs like Megan Trainor, Cup Song, all that. And then I eventually ended up learning guitar to accompany myself, started writing songs, and then here I am.
Oh, nice. So I
So yeah,
suppose throughout all that history of doing some musical theatre stuff and then also then doing some covers while busking, if you wanted
exactly.
to re-record any song, so any song in the big wide world as a cover, what would you want to release?
That is so tricky. Well, I do a nice. My friends like this song, but I do a nice acoustic version of Super Trooper by ABBA, which
Oh
I
my God.
like. But with the band, I love doing Only Exception, like a really big version by
Yeah.
Paramore. So that's a good song to cover. Those are my two favorite songs to cover, solo or with the band. So yeah.
Oh, nice. So that's quite cool. And you mentioned your band. So you played solo for about 7 years.
Yep.
Why did you decide to get a band with you, and how did you meet? I think I've got their names: Jake, Pat, and Sammy.
Exactly. Yep, that's them. And well, it actually wasn't really planned. Like I didn't have a plan to have a band necessarily. It was always a bit of a dream of mine, but it happened really naturally, which was awesome. I was chosen as an artist for the QUT student-run record label Vermilion, and I was in my second year, and these three boys, Sammy, Pat, and Jake, were in their third year, and they were assigned to be on my team as the producers and stuff. And we had this like showcase coming up, and they were like, "Oh, Dublin, surely you play with a backing band." And I was like, "Okay, let's try it." And then it clicked so well, and now we're like best friends. And yeah, they play with me for a lot of the shows, which is
Oh, that's
awesome.
so cool. So, which of them play which instruments?
Pat plays the drums, Patrick McClement. Sammy plays bass. He's also got his own solo project, Sammy Shoe. And Jake plays the guitar, lead guitar, and he's also a very pro producer, Jake Rennie.
Nice. So yeah, you mentioned that you met them at Vermilion. Um,
Mhm.
so I think I'm right in saying this. Georgia is also from Vermilion as well.
Yes.
Is that quite a big thing in Queensland, and specifically through that uni, that a lot of artists come through there and start making their way through that?
I wouldn't say it's that big, really. Maybe in Brisbane it's pretty good, but it is a bit of a coincidence that Georgia and I are both on this channel. She is a Vermilion artist this year, and I was a Vermilion artist last year. But
Okay.
no, it's definitely picking up in Brisbane, which is exciting, and it's doing a lot of good for the university students, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
exciting.
I think it's quite cool that a university, because my uni only really created like a label for the students in my last year of university, and it was like a
Yeah.
dedicated music
Wow.
school. I'm like, that's a bit odd, but it's so cool that in Brisbane, because of course Australia is not a big, like a very big music scene like London, but it's cool
Mm.
that it's growing in its own right.
It is growing. Literally last week or this week, there was this thing called Big Sound, which is like a festival in Brisbane in the Fortitude Valley. And it was like over 3 days and it was massive. Like everyone I knew was there partying and listening to all the music, live music. It was awesome. So
So
Brisbane music scene is pretty good.
yeah, so I was gonna say, this is a little bit of an off the cuff, just off this, but Fortitude Valley. How would you describe that? Because when I came to Australia over the summer, I was like, oh, it's such a dodgy place. It's like you need to be careful around there. And I was walking around there like late at night, and I'm just like, this is fine. Like,
Okay, like in the main Brunswick like mall part, like where all the
mm,
stuff is, like you're totally fine. Like the lights are always like it's always busy at
yeah.
every hour of the day. But it's more so the outskirts where you have to be a bit
Ah,
careful. Um,
okay,
all the venues where I play at are all mainly on that one street. So like lugging my gear around and stuff, it's never too scary.
okay.
I like the valley, honestly.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Fond memory.
Um, so it seems a little bit clear listening to some of your tracks that you've released so far. You kind of have a folk indie sort of sound. Is
Yeah,
there
yeah.
any particular artists that have influenced that sort of sound
Mm.
that you?
Definitely. I'd say some of my biggest influences and people that people compare me to would be like Kate Miller-Heidke, Stella Donnelly, Taylor Swift. Um, yeah, people like that. Like I love the iconic Australian queen, you know? That's what I want to become.
Oh, nice. Because I mean, it's funny because I've had quite a few. I know some people are going to be a little bit like, oh, we're talking about Taylor Swift again, but we've kind of had a few singers on this so far that kind of mentioned Taylor Swift as an influence. How big do you think, in terms of being a bigger pop star and things like that, starting from sort of folk music to the heights that she is now? How do you think that's sort of influenced you as well?
Well, definitely as a little girl, like growing up, I was always exposed to Taylor. And I
Mm,
feel like especially like playing guitar and stuff, I was like, wow, like I'm just like Taylor. Whereas you take a while to find your niche interest where or the artists that really inspire you and you're like, wow, I love them so much. That's more like later in high school I found.
yeah.
But Taylor was like always there, always someone I looked up to, I'd say.
Oh, nice. I
An
mean,
obvious example.
yeah. I mean, she is in terms of a songwriter as well, she's a very talented songwriter to take inspiration from and find little patterns that she's worked on over the years, and that's really cool.
Agree.
Um, so I've also done so every single time that I interview someone, I do a bit of a deep dive. You've done quite a few different interviews over the past couple of years.
Yes.
And so I've noticed that you've talked a little bit about how difficult it is for women in the industry to kind of get a footing and control over their music.
Mm.
Is this something that you're still finding trouble with, or is it getting easier as you move into the industry?
I would say it actually is getting easier as I grow more confident in myself.
Mm,
But it is still, I have said this, but going into music, I feel like I was so unaware of the like different amount of women to male. Like it is such a male dominated field, but outwardly looking at the music industry, I feel like the number of artists I see, it's half female, half male. But the behind the scenes, there's like so like hundreds more men out there,
mhm.
like being the sound guy or like stagehand, producers, instrumentalists. Like I feel like it's pretty much all guys, honestly. And sometimes it's really strange being the only girl on the like entire lineup and in the entire like band. And obviously I have a three-piece backing band of all guys
Yeah.
who are really awesome. But even then it can sometimes be overwhelming and I'm like, wait, what am I feel flustered, or out of
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, my degree, as I mentioned, I did it in London, and the DJing course, like there was a lot of female students, and it was amazing to see. But the sound engineering course and the production course, which is all the behind the scenes stuff, there was only maybe I think in the entire time me doing it, maybe three or four female students out of like
Yeah.
a class of maybe 20.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
even now, it's still a male dominated industry.
Mm.
Um, and I mean, I suppose that's may sometimes be a difficult thing for you because I know men and males, being one myself, can be a little bit stubborn.
Exactly. They can. They can
um,
be.
yeah.
Or
So
like I just feel nervous to give my ideas out because they sometimes think they're always right, you know? Mm.
yeah, I mean, I've noticed in the studio as well when I've worked with female singers in the past for past songs and future songs and stuff like that. I need to. I mean, this goes not just for male artists, but also just generally artists as well. Because I've spoken with this with other female artists as well, and as artists in general, we can kind of get an idea stuck in our head, and we like love that idea so much that we won't really take on new ideas. And I feel like as
Yeah,
well for male artists, we're doubly stubborn sometimes.
yeah, I
uh,
feel that.
yeah,
But luckily, honestly, recently, the more I've been involved in like the Brisbane music scene, I've found like some really great girlfriends who like I can share the experience with, or when we're out and about, it's like, oh, like I'm so happy to see you. Like we've got each other's back, which
yeah,
is really good. And even so, like I'm becoming closer friends with all the boys that I know around, and like I know how to act and like to stand my ground.
yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely getting better.
I think that's so cool though, the fact that you've now found your confidence in what you do, because it takes a lot of artists a very long time to gain confidence in themselves. So the fact that
Yeah.
because you've started releasing on Spotify, as you mentioned, I think you started earlier than 2021, maybe as a singer and stuff like that, and growing up. with that.
Yeah.
As your brand, you only started a couple of years ago. So to now get to that point where you're already confident enough in yourself to stand your ground and fight your corner, that's really cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It has been, I do think about it. I'm in my third year of uni and I only decided to do music like towards the end of year 12. I was actually going to study like environmental science. And I remember one day I came home from school being so busy and I said to my mum, literally all I want to do is play the guitar and sing, but I never have the time. And she said, well, why don't you pursue that then? Like if that's all you want to do. And I was like, hang on a minute, maybe she's right.
Because you also recently, God, I can't remember the name of it, but you won an award for There You Go Again in
I did
Queensland.
the People's Choice Award for the Cube Effect, which is like a program run by the Brisbane City Council, and each year they select 20 artists to do like a mentorship, and you get a music video out of it. And yeah, so my music video got the most votes, which was so crazy and exciting. Literally right in front of me, I have this glass cube that that is like my award, and I at least can see it right now, which is so cool.
Oh, congratulations. So what's that called again?
It's called the People's Choice Award as part of the Cube Effect.
Nice.
Cube with a Q.
Okay, nice. Well, congratulations for that. So
Thank you.
how did you go about getting entered into that? And
Ah.
um, yeah.
Well, it's like they do like an intake every year. I think the applications would probably be around this time for next year. But then I didn't know if I'd get in because they only take 20 people. But then I got a call and I was in it. And then yeah, that's probably, yeah, you can find the applications online and I highly recommend it. It was a great program and I met so many awesome artists. And you get a free music video out of it. And now my prize is another free music video, which I'm gonna apply to my upcoming release. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
another opportunity for me to show off my incredible acting skills.
Um, well, from back in musical theatre school, of course. Um, Out of curiosity, is there, so you mentioned that it was like a mentorship. So
Hmm.
what were you mentoring someone or someone mentoring you? And
Well, just as of recently, we've been assigned our own mentor, and I've been assigned this really cool woman, lady, oh gosh, called Georgie Luston, and she is like involved with frontier touring and is amazing at marketing and has been in the industry for so long. And I got to have one-on-one Zoom calls with her, and she gives the most incredible advice ever.
oh, that's
So it's
amazing.
really, and they also did a couple of like group mentoring where like Gyro Stream and some people came in and gave a presentation. So that was good as well.
Oh, nice. I mean, it's quite cool having someone in the, sorry, sparkling water.
Mm.
Have someone in the industry kind of being able to give you tips and pointers when
It's
you're
so
just starting
great.
out. Um,
Yeah, and she's really nice where I'm not afraid to ask questions, which is good.
so what's the best bit of advice that you've gotten so far?
Oh, oh, they're all like really specific advice. Um, oh gosh, I can't think. Maybe, um, well, I'm talking about like my releases and they always talk a lot about content and stuff.
Yeah.
And which is something I'm not that great at, which I'm trying to improve. So a lot of it has been about like posting as much as you can, like oversaturation isn't really a thing. No one's going to look at your posts all the time. Just
Hmm.
to take every opportunity to put yourself out there, really, which I'm
Yeah.
still trying to learn and trying to be dedicated enough to post all the time, but that's something they say, and it's honestly true. Social media is such a big thing, and I wish it wasn't, but it is.
Yeah, as artists, we've got to be marketing executives, we've got to be musicians, we've got to be singers, got to be guitarists, got to be just everything.
Literally. Visual designers. Oh
Hmm.
God, everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So, out of curiosity, so that's the best bit of advice is just literally tackling social media and promoting. And what's the weirdest advice? Because I've got some weird advice over the years. One of them was if you're nervous before a gig, eat a banana, which I've done
Wow.
that and it hasn't helped.
I can't even think about this, right? I can't think of the best and worst funny advice I've been given. What's something really random? Oh my God. Well, literally, when I lost my voice 2 weeks ago, which was the most stressful time ever, I had to cancel all my gigs. What happened basically
Mm,
was I was feeling sick and then I sung a bunch of shows while I was unwell, and then my voice just gave in and I lost it completely for weeks and weeks. But I went to the voice doctor and speech pathologist because it was taking so long, and
yeah.
they said, they gave me so much advice, like, and one of them was drinking pineapple juice is really great for your voice
Is
and
it?
reduces spelling, apparently.
See,
So
yeah,
that
go
was
on.
really shocking to me.
Yeah, see, I've always like, I found this myself, ginger and turmeric juice. Whenever
Oh
like
no.
my voice is just really tired, just having a
Mm,
shot of that just like
that's
wakens. It probably does more damage, but in the interim, it gets my voice running again.
I was gonna say that sounds horrible, but I'll give it a go.
I mean, it does taste horrid,
Yeah.
but it does get my voice up and running again, which is what you need in the interim.
Yeah, got it. I forgot, I didn't realize how important your voice is, like, to
Yeah.
everything. And I couldn't speak, like being at Woolworths or like and not being able to say thank you. I'm just like, or they say, "Do you want a brochure?" And I'm like, I can't say anything. So yeah, it was funny.
Um, so speaking about your singing voice, we're now going to have a listen to some of your music. So
Okay.
I picked three songs. Um, so we're going to start back in 2021,
Oh
and
God.
we're going to have a listen to Handshake in August.
Okay. Can I say a tiny bit?
Yeah.
So this song, I've honestly been hesitant keeping it up on Spotify because it just is a bit funny to me. But I recorded it on GarageBand myself when I was 16, and that's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, we'll go into this remembering that.
Yeah.
So here is Handshake by Dublin.
Does he even know I exist? Something about him I cannot resist. Would he want to run through fields with me if I asked? Brown eyes, sweet smile, soft voice, hellos and goodbyes. He has no idea how much I adore him. Oh, do you wanna make a handshake with me? No one else knows. Do you wanna dance with me and never let me go? I've been waiting for so long to be able to write this song. I can't help falling in love with you. Don't know why, when or how. All I know is I wanna be with you right now. Let's run away together. Let's be together. Palpitations, hallucinations. There's no cure for a stupid mind and a broken heart. Skimming rocks and skipping stones, blinkered hugs that break my bones. Your hair, your laugh, your innocence, pretending that message was an accident. Oh, do you wanna make a handshake with me? No one else knows. Do you wanna dance with me and never let me go? I've been waiting for so long to be able to write this song. I can't help falling in love with you. Don't know why, when or how. All I know is I wanna be with you right now. Let's run away together. Let's be together. And you said you haven't kissed nobody since November, but I haven't kissed nobody ever. I almost crashed my car pretending you were in passenger seat. And I looked into your eyes, singing the words you wrote for me. But it's all just a lie. Yeah, it's all just a dream. Oh, I haven't waited for this long just to write another unexperienced love song. Here's to another dream that came to an end. Here's to the feeling of happiness when you went to my head. Here's to the wish that you were mine. I've done this before, so I know I'll be just fine. One more time. Oh, do you wanna make a handshake with me? No one else knows. Do you wanna dance with me and never let me go?
So that was Handshake by Dublin Rose. Um, yeah.
There we go. Oh my God, that was funny to listen to. I swear I have not had the courage to listen to that start to finish in actually years. It's a pretty funny song, but I'm glad to say that I've improved.
Yeah, so
So if
how old
stick around for the next songs,
so how old were you when you wrote this song and released it?
I was 16 when I wrote and recorded it, and now I'm 20. But it's funny to think back and listen to. It was recorded on GarageBand, and I'm listening to those guitars, and it just sounds so. It actually isn't that bad, honestly.
No, it
It's pretty
isn't.
funny.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah, so if anyone doesn't know, GarageBand is basically the very basic version of Logic Pro, and it's what people use when they start out writing music, because it's free and easy to use.
Yeah,
So if anyone wants to get started writing music, definitely, if you've got an Apple computer, it's free. Just try it out, then spend £200 or however much it is in dollars to then
it's
use it.
free, and I did it on my iPad. Yeah, I just did it
Yeah.
on my iPad, record while my whole family was making dinner, and didn't give a care in the world.
Well, so how do you feel like your voice has improved since then?
I think it has improved in so much. Like when I listen to that, I don't know why I cringe so much because I guess I should be proud. But it feels good to know that like you're progressing, of
Mm.
course. But to me, I just sound like a little mouse, like a I don't know.
No,
But
if it,
yeah, I feel like I have a lot more power and depth in my voice now.
yeah, if it makes you feel any better, like I remember I was listening back to some songs. So the way which I describe Spotify as an artist or any other streaming service is when you look through it as an artist, you're just like it's kind of like scrolling through a camera roll and just listening to memories.
Literally.
And like I remember the first song which I ever wrote was Vast Past, and it was like when I was 14. Then I recorded it properly when I was like 16.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to sing. I was trying to re-record it and sing like I was 16 again,
Mm,
and I can't do it.
literally. And sometimes, like, songs that I wrote years and years ago will feel so much like in such a high register in comparison to the songs I write now, which makes
Yeah.
sense, but is interesting.
Yeah. And it's very difficult to get back to that sort of because I remember now I took for granted the fact that I could sing higher back then. Because now I'm just
Yeah.
like I'm always in the bass section of everything.
Oh, well, that's still cool.
Yeah, it
But I
can
know what
be,
you,
except it's usually just one note.
yeah. Oh, that's so true.
But no, that's so cool. And the guitars you mentioned, although it's through GarageBand, of course, were you playing the guitar back then?
Yes, yes, I was playing the guitar. Just like, it was just like an electric guitar. I think I plugged it in, like, I think I did it at school and plugged it into like
Mm.
a Focusrite and all that. It was for an assignment, actually. Like my year 11
Okay.
assignment or something. Yeah.
So for people who are in England, um, listening, you've mentioned year 12 and then going on to uni from there. So from over here, we've got college as 2 years, and then you finish at the end of year 13. So what's year 11 and year 12? Is that?
Oh, that's so strange. Well, year 11 and 12 are still a part of high school. And then you do like your final exams, and it's like ATAR, where all your assessments count towards graduating and getting a score, which gets you into university, which you don't have to do university, but now I'm in uni studying a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Music at QUT, and I literally graduate in 6 weeks. I'm in my last semester. How crazy.
Well, congratulations. And
Thanks.
as a translation, high school is secondary school. Um, the
Right.
the courses that you mentioned about being in the last couple of years of school is A levels here, and UCAS points get you into university. Just for a translation of everyone in everyone here in the UK.
Oh, weird.
But yeah, so that's really cool. Congratulations on nearing the end of university.
Thank you.
So you've done 3 years, and is that when you mention music, is that a mixture of like modern music? Is there a mixture of stuff like mixing and mastering and production and stuff which you've learned, or
Luckily, this degree that I'm doing is like a lot, all sorts of music, and I do lessons in theory, music production, songwriting, and all that sort of stuff. And you can kind
Mhm.
of take what avenue you want. A lot of the time we work in groups, and if someone's super interested in production, like they'll take control of the desk, and then the other people will play their instrument, and then they'll make a song. So you can kind of choose, pick and choose, but it's really an all-rounded course.
Oh, nice. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, of course, you said you met your bandmates through university.
hmm
Have you also then met Georgia through university as well?
Yes,
Um,
because
yeah.
with the back to the Vermilion Records thing, now that I'm in my third year, I'm like a part of the project because if you are a part of Vermilion Records, you get double credit points. So I'm working on the project as an artist liaison and live events coordinator as a student in the record label. Now that Georgia isn't one of the artists,
Oh,
if that makes
nice.
sense. So my three bandmates were the year above me, working for double credit points by being on the record label, if that makes any
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool. Um, yeah. So I suppose you must meet a lot of up and coming new artists from the Brisbane area. Um,
definitely.
so have you had any of them at this point like turn to you and just sort of say like not sort of like you're my inspiration, but like how do I get to where you're at?
There are a lot of people that are so nice to me and like, yeah, like ask for advice, which feels so strange because I feel like I'm still starting out, you know? But a lot of like the first years or like even the second years who are starting out will say like, oh, like how do you recommend that I find myself a gig? And I'll like say, oh, like sign up for this, sign up for that, or like email this, which is cool. But it feels so honoring. It makes me feel so honored when people ask for advice or look up to me. It's like my dream. Yeah. Actually, just the other day, I was invited back to my high school to be on this panel and where they could ask questions and stuff as one of the alumni, which was also like a movie because everyone was like, Dublin Rose. And I was like, I'm just this random girl, you know? But it was really cool.
You know, I've got that here actually where not me personally, but I have so I work in a school and it's the
Really?
school that I left as a student. And one of the biggest like or most successful stories about the musicians from like working around London area. His name is Oscar Lang, and
Mhm.
it's
I've
so
heard of
it's
him.
so funny. Have you heard of him? Oh my God.
I feel like I know that name. Maybe.
I'll share his Spotify after this with you or his
Okay, good
Instagram.
idea.
But yeah, so I was teaching a music class one day a couple of years ago, and these students like I put his music on as an example of like music now, and they was like, "Oh my God, I didn't realize you knew like you're playing Oscar Lang. That's so cool." I'm just like, "Yeah, we did music class here together a couple of years ago."
That's wild. It
Like,
is so cool.
and they would not believe like I knew him. Like And like I do message him every once in a while. Like I know he's really busy, so he doesn't always respond, but like he does message back every once in a while. And like they didn't believe that. And it's the same as well that so I mentioned Alana earlier. She's gonna hate the fact that I keep mentioning her throughout this, but I'm going to. But I when actually we were leaving your gig when I was in Brisbane, and I was just like,
Yeah.
we don't our music tastes don't really match up, but I was just like, give me your Spotify, let me have a look. And I found an artist name, Tiali, and I was just like, I went to school with her.
What the heck?
Like
That must have been a great school you went to.
yeah, it was. We've had quite a few musicians come out of it,
That's
especially
awesome.
from my year group, which is insane. But yeah, like it's the fact that the music industry, like as you've noticed in Brisbane itself, it's very small. But
Mm.
it's not just in Brisbane that it's very small. Like the music industry across everywhere seems to be a very small industry as you get into
Yeah,
it. And the fact that
that's so
like yeah, like it's so easy to
everyone knows
find other
everyone.
people. Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
easy to find other people everywhere. Like I've on Instagram, like when I was starting out this introducers podcast, an interview, I was just sort of searching on Instagram just for new artists to interview. And while like scrolling through feeds about you, and then suddenly Georgia like appeared, and then suddenly
yeah,
after Georgia, an artist called Serendipity appeared as well.
yeah. And it's Jess. She's like one of my greatest. That's so
Um,
cool.
but it's just it's the fact that it is such a small thing on social media.
Mm.
And actually, out of curiosity, how do you navigate social media yourself as an artist to be able to like be connected with all these other people and then find random connections that you didn't even realize you had?
True. Well, I always make sure like after a gig or something, if I meet people, I always like follow them so that like I remember who they are because I have so many interactions where I like, forget and I don't want to embarrass myself. And then they follow me back, which is so nice. And you just like build that community and through social media, like you immediately remember who each other are. And then you see their posts and you're constantly reminded of them. So then when you're in touch, when you see each other again, you're like, oh my God, like how's the release? Even though you may have only met one time.
Yeah,
So then it's a really great way to like foster the relationship on social media.
100%. So we're gonna move on to the last night of summer,
Okay, sure.
which is February 2023, I believe.
Yes,
Um,
that is
amazing. So we're gonna have a listen to Last Night of Summer by Dublin Rose. Here we go.
true.
The Sunday of the seasons, the warmth of the trees, the glow of the evening. Your collar's stained with sunscreen, we've overdosed on caffeine. It's the last night of summer, young love we swore would last forever starts to fade. But not the memories we made. Yeah, time goes so fast when we're in the sun, building dreams with everyone. But just for tonight we'll be the only one. Swore would last forever starts to fade. But not the memories we made. Yeah, time goes so fast. that time go? I don't wanna grow up, they all think they know. I just wanna dance around my room. Now I'd have to pay for fuel, cause I feel so alive, but also dead inside. Watching clouds pass from the trampoline, telling you my wildest dream. On the last night of summer, young love we swore would last forever starts to fade, but not the memories we made. Yeah, time goes so fast when we're in the sun, building dreams with everyone. But just for tonight, let's close our eyes, 'cause we're still young.
So that was The Last Night of Summer by Dublin. So I so the guitar, I'm stuck for words. Um that I really
Really?
loved that, yeah, I really loved it. That, and also the folk elements is so apparent, and so it seems like when I was over there over the summer, I noticed how much Aussies loved the sort of folk music and everything. And
Yeah.
it's so nice. It's such a nice genre to love. And I also love the ending of that song so much with the guitars sort of melting into each other. It's such a
I
nice ending.
appreciate that. Well, that song I actually wrote just after I graduated high school, and like it's called The Last Night of Summer, and if you notice all the words and stuff, it was about like just like I had the best summer with my friends, and it was like it was going to an end and I was sad and happy, and it was like all the mixed emotions. And then I recorded it about a year later with my guitar teacher in his home studio, just working parts out. Like I had already written the thing, but he helped add the extra elements, which was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So, I mean, again, it kind of ties into sort of the folky elements that you're working with, and the fact that you're wanting to write about things which are obviously just close to you because, of course, the last night of summer, last time hanging out with your friends properly for a while, because, of course, going off to uni, doing other things. Um,
Exactly.
so how did your friends react as well to this sort of song where it's like,
They
oh,
were so lovely. I remember that because that I hadn't released a song for 2 years, and I was like, oh, like I'm finally releasing something. And then I released it, and I held a little party at my house. Like not a party, it was just like a little gathering and with fairy lights and everything on the last night of summer, which was the day I released the song. And they all came, we had pizza or whatever. And it was just so sad, and it was so sweet, sorry. And they asked me to sing it live, and then I like teared up. I don't know why, I felt so emotional, but my friends are literally the most supportive people ever. And I like the people from high school continue to support me, which is so lovely.
oh,
Like,
that's so
yeah,
cool.
it's
Yeah. So do you often have them round and ask them about what they think about new songs and get their opinion?
wow. Funnily, well, now it's like this always happens. I don't know why I'm not so great at recording, like, or I don't enjoy it as much. I'm trying to learn that. But I always like have so many songs and then not as like literally 4 songs recorded, but I have probably like 30 songs that I want to record. So I like debut it at a little show and then go, everyone, this is a brand new song. And then they hear it because they've already heard all the other songs, even
Yeah.
though they haven't been released. They know all the words to these unreleased songs because I played them so many times. It's really awesome.
But
So
it's so
yeah.
cool that you get to have the same that you sort of recognize, or do you recognize at your shows like similar people that you see quite a few different times?
100%. I definitely have like that little group that is so kind to me that always comes along, and I literally say, come to the front, please, please, because I like need people to stare at. Like sometimes I accidentally, people say this to me all the time, but I will just lock in on someone and will just stare at them for like 30 seconds during like while I'm singing. They'll be like, why are you staring at me? And I'll be like, I don't remember that. So yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, as a musician and as a singer, it is the most terrifying thing at a gig when you've got. I mean, I think it varies. There's two terrifying things. One, you don't have anyone watching you, in which case you don't know
Oh.
where to look whatsoever, or you have loads of people looking at you, in which case you feel like you've got to look at each one of them at some point.
Oh my God. Yes, exactly. That's how it is. So yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Because the funny thing is, there's no in between either. It's like one or the
Mm,
other, and that's the most
yeah,
terrifying thing.
literally.
Um, nice. Well, we're going to listen to your last song, and
Okay.
so for those of you that don't know as well, there is a melody and music playlist, um, and there you go again is still in the top five. For the life of me, I haven't had the heart to remove it from the top five. Um,
Oh, you.
and so I mean, I think it's probably going to take another song of Dublin's to come out to top that one to then remove it.
Well, it's going to
Um,
become soon, I promise.
okay. So this is There You Go Again by Dublin that was released in February 2024. So let's have a listen.
There's also a music video. Check it out.
I walk past your house on my way to school. Adjust my hair as I go past your window. We've only spoken once or twice. Wonder if you know you're the reason I can't sleep at night. Never stop checking if you've seen my story. Every single little thing I do is meant for you. Oh, you. 'Cause every time I see your face, it makes me mad. 'Cause I remember that I'm not yours. And I know you've never dreamt about me. Can I hurry up and stop loving you? Don't have a clue what you put me through. Tired of the late night fantasies. Not ever dreaming of you and me. Staring at your face for a minute straight. Taking pictures in my mind for the movie I'll be making in my dreams tonight. But you, oh you. But you do have a girlfriend who you never talk about, and I don't even know her name or anything like that. And I remember one time you told me how I was helping you with your mental health. Why would you tell me that? You know you've ruined mine. 'Cause every time I see your face, it makes me mad. 'Cause I remember that I'm not yours. And I know you've never dreamt about me. Can I hurry up and stop loving you? Don't have a clue what you put me through. Tired of the late night fantasies. Forever dreaming of you and me. Staring at your face for a minute straight. Taking pictures in my mind for the movie I've been making in my dreams tonight. But you, oh you, oh you, you, oh you. There you go again, I lost my train of thought. Here's hoping you'll never hear this song, but if you did, would you sing along? And if I were to reach your mind, but I like what you had to say. Or should I hurry up and stop loving you and forget all the songs I wrote for you? No more late night fantasies. I guess you and I just weren't meant to be. Stop staring at your face for a minute straight. No more pictures in my mind, no more movies to be made in my dreams tonight. But you, oh you, oh you. Lost my train of, lost my train of thought. There you go again, I lost lost my train of thought.
Nice. So that was There You Go Again by Dublin Rose. So,
Thanks very
um,
much. I was so happy. I can't believe you knew all of the words. That was literally made me so happy.
um, yeah, so I've had quite a few singers on this so far, and like there's one song where I'm just like, I know I'm listening to this for the podcast and for the interview, but at the same time, I do really like the song, and it's just
Thank
like
you.
there have been some songs where I'm just like I'm listening to it for the podcast. I'm like, okay, I'm listening to it for the interview, listening to it for the interview. But
Yeah.
like this one, I had it with the last interview with Inad Lisbeth with her song "On My Mind," and I've had it with this song that you've released. There you go again, where I'm just like, yes, I can just vibe out to this one.
Oh, thank you. That is so nice. I appreciate it.
Welcome. So I figured I'd just go through. So out of all the three songs that we'd listened to, this was one that I have done a review on the blog,
Yeah.
and so an up-tempo song about heartbreak and trying to forget and move on from a relationship or a crush, knowing the difficult times a lover can put you through. How close did I get it?
You got it very close. That's literally exactly it. It was just me being like dramatic and having a crush on someone that was just so silly. Like, you know what I mean? And then it's unrequited, blah, blah, blah. You get it.
Yeah. So
But I wrote this one as well when I wrote that one as well when I was 16, in fact, but only just recently recorded it.
oh, nice. So
So yeah,
I'm really enjoying sort of because it has that sort of folky kind of poppy element, but it also has sort of like these, I don't want to call it punky guitars, but these kind of like
yeah.
really driven guitars throughout the whole song, or at least most of it.
Yeah, it is a bit of a rock song, hey.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
really
know, I
nice.
never know what to call my genre because it has a lot. Like I say like indie pop rock folk, but then it's like that just sounds silly. So yeah. But yeah, I
Nice.
agree. It's very fun.
Yeah. So I think because it's kind of it's a nice way of people just sort of whenever they're fit in that sort of mood and that sort of time in their life, they can just put it on and just not care.
Thank you. Yes, that's
And it's
exactly like you're singing about heartbreak, but you're feeling like wild and dancy.
yeah.
Like
And
oh,
there's I'm sure there's a lot of that going on at times in the world right now. And it's just so
definitely.
because also it doesn't make you nostalgic and it doesn't make you like missing those times. It's just like, yeah, it's over. Let's just have a bit of fun now.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. That was the vibe.
So, did you record this with your bandmates as well? Like, were they a part of the production process of this as well?
Yes, so it was actually a part of a million records, like being a part of the record label, you got to record a song. And so they were on my team and they played on the track and Jake Rennie, my guitarist, produced it and mixed it, which is awesome. So really, I like that song a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say about it because it sort of just gets you in a state of mind, which is like, yeah, nice.
Yeah. I could
Um,
say you guys should totally watch the music video. You can find it on YouTube. There You Go Again by Dublin Rose. And yeah, it was filmed at my best friend's house. And it's just a really funny narrative. You have to watch it. And okay, get this. Filmed at my best friend Alice's house, who's been my best friend for like 10 years. And her boyfriend of 3 years plays my crush, my love interest. And it's so funny. And then she plays the girlfriend that I hate. It's really funny. Yeah, it was a good day to film. Yeah.
so how cool was it that you managed to get sort of your friends or your friend and her boyfriend and stuff? You've obviously known for a bit of time to sort of get involved in this project, and also how weird was that at times, probably during the project?
It, it was weird. So the two guys from No One Network filmed the music video, Geordie and Kyle, and that was like given to me as part of the Cube effect. And so they came to my best friend's house, and all her family, all my mum and sister were there, and then Alice's boyfriend Dylan was there, and it was just the most fun day. Like we were eating hot chips, we were like filming random scenes, having so much fun. I swear it was one of the best days ever.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah,
so
it made
cool.
the process really good.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. And I mean, I suppose that's quite a fun thing as well, getting to experience something for the first time. Because filming a music video for an artist doesn't happen very early on. So the fact that you managed to get that and be like get into something which has allowed you to do that, and also because by that point, when artists get to do that in the industry, they don't get to bring people with them because it's like their first one. So it's kind of just like,
Yeah.
no, you're being told what to do, go and do it. The fact that you've managed to like do it and have your family and like very close friends with you is so cool.
Yeah. It was the best first experience, and I'm so, so lucky to now have won the People's Choice Award because I get to do it all again with the
Uh,
same team. So it's so, so exciting. And I've got to organize like the fun narrative that I'll do for this next song. It'll be funny. It'll be so funny. So stay tuned for that.
nice. So I'm trying to think. There was other things which I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, your voice in the and your singing in the song. Um, there was kind of it kind of felt like there was some spoken like word elements in there where you're kind of speaking during some of it, then you get back in singing and then you speak during some of it, and it's kind of like a conversation happening. Was that
Yeah,
intentional?
absolutely. That is like a lot part of my style now. Like as I've progressed and I found my sound, I definitely love like the little talkative parts. And that's very much inspired by like Kate Miller-Heidke and Stella Donnelly having that. I feel like it is so engaging to have that little, you get to show your personality a lot more when you use that talkative style. And I really like it. So yeah, definitely
Nice.
wasn't.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of difficult nowadays. I mean, you may be able to give your perspective on it as well as a female artist, but I've noticed as a male artist, like you can't just go out and just write amazing music and like build up a brand. You've got to basically be an entertainer throughout everything.
Totally. It's so hard to separate yourself from everyone, and it's hard to discover your brand because to me it's just, oh, like it's just me. And it's like, why would, like, what makes me interesting? It's so
Mm,
hard to find. Um, but luckily for myself, having grown up performing and busking at the markets, that's probably my favorite thing and my strong suit. I love to be on stage and I feel so happy and I feel like that comes across. Whereas so the performing and being in the studio is really quite new to me. And that's why I don't have so many songs out because I'm trying to find what producer works for me, find
mm.
out what works, and it's just a bit of a slow process at the moment, but performing is where I feel the safest, and I love the stage.
So I think a crucial thing to tell new artists is I am the polar opposite of Dublin. I love being in the studio as a singer and a songwriter and a musician. I'm I hate performing.
Really?
I mean, I've gotten a lot more confident at it over the past year, forcing myself doing open mics and things like that. But I
Hmm.
hate doing it so much. But because in the studio, if you mess up, you can just redo it again. But performing, you're just like, come on, need to be on cue, need to be in the right key, need to be perfect.
That is literally the exact opposite to me. I hate the fact that you can redo it in the studio because, like, I get so stressed and so perfectionist where it's like, no, that doesn't sound good enough. No, that we've got to redo it. We've got to redo it. Whereas, like, in the live moment, like, nothing matters and I'm just free to do whatever I want, you know? And I guess I don't get so nervous anymore.
Yeah,
But yeah. What does your live format look like? Like, are you playing an instrument or are you like on the DJ desk?
literally acoustic guitar and singing.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you also do DJing or did I make that up?
No, not DJ, not DJing.
Oh, but there were DJs at your school.
Yes, there were DJs at my school.
Believe,
I'm
believe me,
sure. I'm
but you
sure there
didn't.
were. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I see. Well, that sounds awesome.
But yeah. So um, I think. Do you want to plug anything else before we?
Hmm. Basically just follow Dublin Rose everywhere if you can. Follow me on Spotify. I promise like new music is on the way. I have two sessions this week, in fact. So yeah, and go watch the music video. And if you live in Brisbane, come along to West End Girls on October 5th at the Bearded Lady in West End. So yeah, that's probably the main things. But Dublin Rose is my name. You know that by now.
And Dublin will have her Instagram. I'll put her Instagram tag below. Um, so before we end, make sure to go and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you haven't already, listen to our previous interviews with, okay, Matt Clark, Georgia Scarlett, Shifra Jacobs, Izzy MacArthur, Danny, Inad Elizabeth, and now Dublin Rose. And we're releasing up until we've reached 10 episodes for the first series. And the upcoming episodes are with Flowers for Hannah slash Tear Decline, Western Jaguar, and Broken Biscuit Company. So definitely keep an ear out or an eye out for those. And we shall see, or I shall see you in the upcoming Melody and Music Introducers interviews. So thank you
Thank you
so
so
much,
much.
Dublin.
Thank you for having me. It's been a very fun time.
Yeah. So it was nice to have you on, and hopefully we'll get some more Australian artists in the future as well. So yeah.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
So thank you so much, everyone, for listening in, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. Bye.